People expect that once you turn 60, your life should revolve around everyone else. They expect you to be calm, quiet, endlessly patient, and always available. They call it love. They call it family. But if we remove all the soft words and polite ideas, the truth becomes clear. What they really want is your time, and many believe they are entitled to it simply because you are older. Here is a thought that will make some people uncomfortable. You did not spend your entire life raising children, working, sacrificing, and surviving, only to reach your 60s and become free labor for everyone who needs a favor. You are not a built-in babysitter. You are not a backup parent. You are not the solution to every family problem. You are a human being who has earned the right to live without guilt. For decades, society trained older adults to believe that their time matters less than everyone else. You were taught that a good parent says yes, that a good grandparent never complains, that a loving family member drops everything when asked. But these expectations create a quiet, heavy pressure, a pressure that steals rest, a pressure that damages health, a pressure that can make your 70s and 80s feel like an extension of your working years instead of the freedom you deserve. Imagine this moment. It is a calm afternoon, the kind you rarely get. You sit in your favorite chair. You breathe deeply. Maybe the window is open and the air feels soft. You feel a small peace growing inside your chest. Then the phone rings, or a message pops up. It is your adult child. They say, "Can you watch the kids today? Just for a little while, just for a few hours, just a small favor." But inside you feel tired. You had plans. Maybe you wanted to cook something simple, or visit a friend, or walk in the garden, or simply be alone with your thoughts. But instead of listening to your own needs, you say yes. You say yes because the guilt is louder than your own voice. You say yes because you fear judgment. You say yes because you were trained for a lifetime to believe that your worth is measured by how helpful you are. This cycle happens to so many people over 60, and it happens for reasons that are deeper than most families understand. Social psychology shows that from childhood we learn that refusing a request, especially from someone we love, makes us appear unkind or ungrateful. You grow up believing that good people say yes and bad people say no. Over time, this belief becomes automatic. You do not question it. You do not challenge it. You simply obey it because it feels safer than disappointing someone. Then there is family pressure. When you always say yes, people stop asking if you want to. They stop wondering about your plans. They stop thinking about your needs. They become comfortable with your time. They assume it is available. They assume you will adjust. They assume you will rescue them when they are tired or overwhelmed. And this assumption grows until your life no longer looks like your own. And then there is guilt, the kind of guilt that has been building for decades. The guilt that whispers that choosing yourself is selfish, that resting is lazy, that setting boundaries is rude, that saying no means you are less loving. This guilt is powerful. It shapes your decisions even when you feel exhausted. It controls your voice. It keeps you from protecting yourself. And it convinces you that your needs are a burden. But here is the truth you deserve to hear in a clear and steady voice. After 60, choosing yourself is not selfish. Choosing yourself is survival. Choosing yourself is dignity. Choosing yourself is the difference between a peaceful life and a life spent carrying responsibilities that do not belong to you anymore. Your time is not a family resource. Your energy is not a renewable gift. Your old age is not a second childhood for your grandchildren. Your life belongs to you, not to the expectations of others. Peace is not a luxury. Peace is a right, and you do not need permission to protect it. So let us talk about what freedom looks like now. Freedom begins with one simple idea. You are allowed to say no, not with anger, not with drama, not with guilt. Just a calm, steady, gentle no. A no that feels natural. A no that protects your body, your time, your health, and your spirit. A no that honors the truth that you matter to. Start small. Choose one morning or one afternoon each week that is yours and yours alone. During that time, you are not available, not for favors, not for babysitting, not for last-minute requests. Protect that time the way you protected everyone else for years. Use it to rest, to breathe, to read, to walk, to think, or to simply be. You do not need a reason. You do not need an explanation. You do not need to justify your need for space. You can also practice saying no in soft ways that still feel firm. You can say, I already have plans. You can say, today I need rest. You can say, I cannot help this time. You can say, I need a day for myself. You can say, not today. These small sentences carry power. They teach people that your time has value. They teach you that your needs matter. And slowly they rebuild your sense of freedom. Remember, life after 60 sharpens your vision. You see what truly matters. You see how fast time moves. You see how much you gave and how little space you kept for yourself. You see the difference between love and obligation. You see the difference between respect and expectation. And you realize that the world will not fall apart if you take care of yourself first. This chapter of your life is meant for peace. It is meant for joy. It is meant for rest. It is meant for living on your own terms. You gave decades to others. You carried responsibilities without hesitation. You raised families. You worked jobs. You kept promises. Now it is time to keep a promise to yourself. The promise that says, my time is mine. My life is mine. My voice matters now. Take this truth with you. You do not exist to carry every weight. You do not exist to fill every gap. You do not exist to make life easy for everyone else while making your own life harder. You exist for your own story, your own peace, your own joy, your own freedom. Now, let us grow this community together. What is one truth you have discovered after turning 60? Share it in the comments. Your story may help someone who has felt trapped in silence. And if you want more real conversations about freedom, honesty, and living without guilt, subscribe and stay with us. This is your space. This is your time. This is your freedom.